Euro 2020 is on the horizon, and in a few months, 24 teams are going to battle it out all over Europe in order to lift the Henri Delaunay Trophy. Games of such significance at times cannot be won by good tactics or team chemistry alone. Throughout the game's rich history, we've seen a few players single-handedly carry their team to glory. Results of a lot of games could be completely different without those players. There is always more pressure on such individuals to do well, more than most players, because they just have something unique about them. These are the players who carry the weight of an entire nation on their shoulders. This time around, we have this assortment of some of the most talented players of our generation. Some of these players have already achieved a lot in their career, while some might use this competition as a launching pad. There might even be some players who are this close to greatness but may or may not make it count. But then again, there's always the storyline of the sort, isn't it? So now you have to do this one teeny tiny little thing for us. Hit that subscribe button and you can have 25 years of good luck. You're welcome. And while you're at it, hit the bell icon and every day can be a new experience. So then, let's start talking about some of the players that you need to watch really closely at the Euros. Romelu Lukaku. Belgium lost to Wales at the Euro 2016 quarter-final, so you can expect Roberto Martinez's side to be really eager to go further in the competition. They crashed out to eventual World Cup winners France in the semi-finals 3 years ago, which means that perhaps this time around they're going to play in the final. And if that is to happen, they will need all their top guns to be in form, especially star striker Romelu Lukaku, who's become a frightening player since leaving England. With 24 Serie A goals last term, you can expect the former Chelsea man to continue his rich vein of form and perhaps make this new generation of Belgian players champions of Europe. Frenkie de Jong. The Dutch midfield maestro will be eager to represent his country for the first time at the Euros. The Oranje failed to qualify for the 2016 edition, and the less we talk about the 2012 campaign, the better. This time around though, there is a slight bit of optimism in the air, given that Frank de Boer has a team full of talented young players. At the heart of his squad is de Jong, who's quickly becoming their midfield general. The youngster had a good campaign for Barcelona last term, and we should expect him to bring a similar quality to the Euros. Jadon Sancho. While his future at Borussia Dortmund remains up in the air, with Manchester United continuously hovering above, Jadon Sancho's performances on the field show that he can be England's standout player at the Euros. The young winger hasn't really lit the world on fire while playing for the Three Lions, but his forward-thinking approach and his ability to carry the ball further up the field makes him a dangerous man to play against. We don't really know if Gareth Southgate is going to preach progressive football at the Euros, but if he does that, the chances are that Sancho will shine. With England likely to come up against teams that defend deep, Sancho's ability to make penetrating runs could come in real handy. Thomas Müller. The Bayern Munich Raumdeuter is back in the national fold after a 3-year absence. While Joachim Löw did want to usher the national team into a new era, it's clear that he couldn't afford to not use the Bayern Munich man's vast experience. Müller's ability to create space for himself and teammates makes him a constant goal threat. He scored 11 goals and provided 18 assists in the Bundesliga last term. And if the veteran brings that kind of form to the Euros, Germany have a great chance of making it past a group of death that contains the world champions France and reigning European champions Portugal. It wouldn't be enough, would it? Lorenzo Insigne. After missing out on a place at the 2018 World Cup in Russia, Italy are back again in a major competition. At the 2016 edition, they lost to Germany in the quarter-finals on penalties. Back then, Lorenzo Insigne played only half an hour for Italy in total. However, the Napoli man is no more a bench luxury. Roberto Mancini has a lot of belief in the forward, and this tournament could be the one where we see the talented forward make his first start for the Azzurri at a major tournament. He scored 19 goals last season and boasted an average of 4.5 shots per 90 minutes in the Serie A, a number that was only bettered by Cristiano Ronaldo. Through Insigne, Italy will not only have a chance to score goals, but also get a lot of creativity out of him. Gerard Moreno. Spanish national team's glory days are long behind them, but it doesn't mean that La Roja don't boast any talent among their ranks anymore. but this time around, Luis Enrique's side might defy all expectations. A lot of that would be down to Gerard Moreno, who enjoyed his best season ever as a professional. The striker scored 30 goals for Villarreal in all competitions, including that goal in the Europa League final against Manchester United. He's done well for his country too, scoring 5 goals in only 8 games. The striker knows his way to goal, and if he gets the services that he usually gets at club level, expect Moreno to take his country further in the competition than most would expect them to go. Youri Tielemans. Leicester City might have lost the Champions League spot on the last day of the campaign, but the Foxes did finish the season with an FA Cup trophy. That title was won thanks to a fantastic long-range goal by Youri Tielemans. In a league where the exploits of the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes are discussed time and time again, it's a little bit sad to see that nobody talks about the young Belgian with a similar respect. He might not be a social media darling or anything, but the former AS Monaco man is every bit as good as these other 3 players. The youngster is really creative, knows when to pass, and also knows his way to goal. In a Belgian side where the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku and Eden Hazard will be making headlines, don't be surprised if Tielemans is the one who steals the show. Karim Benzema. After a 6-year exile from international football, Karim Benzema is back for France. He might have gotten older, but the Real Madrid forward's shooting boots are still working just fine. He missed out on World Cup glory for France, but Didier Deschamps finally forgave him for his misdemeanors. France do need a great striker, and with 44 goal involvements this season, the veteran forward deserves a place in the side. He'll definitely get all sorts of support from the likes of Paul Pogba and Antoine Griezmann, so expect the striker to be at his best and help Les Bleus win the Euros, which could be his last ever commitment with the national side as a player. Robert Lewandowski. Poland might not be favourites to lift the Euros or even to go far in the competition, but this is a team that most would want to avoid, largely because they boast one of the greatest strikers of our generation, Robert Lewandowski. The talented striker always has his shooting boots on for Bayern Munich, but after struggling for goals at the 2016 tournament and at the previous World Cup, he'll want to set the record straight. After scoring 41 goals for Bayern Munich in the league, this man is hungry for more. He'll need some support, and we hope that Poland's creative players do turn up for the tournament and make it a journey worth remembering for the national side. Cristiano Ronaldo. Gone are the days when we put Cristiano Ronaldo's name on top of a list. Yes, his goal-scoring exploits can never be forgotten, but let's be real here. The Juventus forward is in the twilight stages of his career, and he's not as important to the national team as most would have you believe. Portugal won the Euros at 2016, and the next thing I'm going to say is going to be hard to digest for a lot of people out there. Ronaldo came off injured after 25 minutes in the final, and it wasn't even a huge setback at all, because the Iberians ended up winning the game. However, Ronaldo is a living legend, and his very presence is enough to galvanise his teammates into trying to retain their crown. The veteran forward does like to score goals, so expect him to do well, but with extreme caution given the fact that he'll be playing against France and Germany, 2 sides that can boast quite a mean defence. Burak Yilmaz. Okay, so the name Yilmaz might not make for a really exciting end of the list, but let us try and convince you why we're putting his name up there. The Turkish international is ageless. At 35, he's still scoring goals for fun. Last season was his first for Lille, and that didn't stop him from scoring 16 goals and helping them into winning the Ligue 1 title. Averaging a goal every 128 minutes, the Turk is a phenomenal striker. Now, imagine how good he could be when he's getting great support from Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Cengiz Ünder. This is only his second international tournament for Şenol Güneş's side, so expect the veteran to make the most of it. Kai Havertz. Alright, so his first season in England wasn't the greatest if you're purely driven by stats in nature. But if you try to be a little bit objective, you can see that Havertz had a very successful campaign for Chelsea, which culminated in him scoring the winning goal in the Champions League final against Manchester City. The young forward can play in almost any position, and the stage is set for him to further boost his confidence. Germany aren't in an easy group, and they'll be really pinning their hopes on Havertz to come up with the goods and help the team make it to the next round. Kylian MBAPPE. Mbappe was the star of the 2018 World Cup, and with his performance in the final against Croatia, he showed that he's a big game player. The youngster's incredible potential is there for everyone to see, and he is now the team's main man. He's the youngest player to reach 100 Ligue 1 goals, and you can no longer call Mbappe a promising player. The age of Mbappe is here, and we all need to get with the programme. France are the favourites to lift the title, but it's not going to be easy. They'll first have to take care of Portugal and Germany to even qualify for the knockout stages. But do you think that Les Bleus will be fazed by that? Most of the players will relish this challenge, and you can expect Mbappe to be highly motivated. While he hasn't scored as freely for France as he does for PSG, Mbappe's ability to wreak havoc in the final third is going to create a lot of goal-scoring opportunities for the likes of Benzema and Antoine Griezmann. So, this was our list of players that you need to watch closely. Now, we know that we didn't talk about a lot of players on this list, but then again, we'd love to know about all the other players in the comments section, so go on then, get typing.